So I recently spent a little bit of time out in Hawaii, and it was interesting to look and study a little bit about the Zen tradition out there. Apparently, in 1902, the first couple of Zen temples or Zen teachers or Zen priests came to Hawaii as like a touchstone for the Japanese immigrant communities. The first Japanese immigrants started coming in the second half of the 19th century to work on the sugarcane plantations or the fields. And apparently the conditions were pretty bad to start, but they eventually got better. And these immigrants, these expats, they were often wanting to make a bunch of money and then take it back to Japan, to their families. Obviously, some of them stayed and settled in Hawaii as well. So you've got these temples, these temples and other traditions as well that are beginning to take root in Hawaii. Apparently in 1902, there were about 30,000 Japanese workers on these sugarcane plantations. And that was about 70% of the total workforce out there. So these temples were kind of like a place of cultural heritage for them, um, where they could feel like, the Japanese culture. Apparently, they had language classes there. They did chanting. They had festivals. They had practices for the ancestors, like obon. So they really served as like a place for the Japanese community to gather and to connect and to root in, so they could feel connected to their culture. Um, Obviously, there was the Pearl Harbor thing in 1941 where many of the Japanese were put in internment camps. And the temple that I spent some time at in Hawaii, just visiting briefly, Daifukuji, this is on the Big Island, that the abbot at the time as well was taken from that temple and put in an internment camp. And then once that finished up, he came back and once again was the priest there. So apparently there are right now 10 main Soto Zen um, temples there, and I believe other groups as well that maybe aren't affiliated with Japan. And there are some Rinzai Zen monasteries as well, not as many, just one or two, but we've got also different Zen centers as well that aren't like tied to the Japanese institution of Soto Zen or the Rinzai tradition. So at Daifukuji, which is on the west coast of the Big Island, um, it was founded in, it's a beautiful temple just a little bit off of the main road up on a hill. It's red and it's like in the clouds there. It's very beautiful. It was founded in 1914 by Kaiseki Kodama. Apparently he walked around the Big Island twice, collecting donations in order to buy the land and to start the temple in 1914. And they really talk about how now the temple is multicultural, multi-ethnic. There's all different kinds of folks who are going there to practice and to attend ceremonies and festivals. An interesting one that they do is there are different pilgrimages in Japan where you're going around to 33 temples that are associated with Kannon. Kannon is the bodhisattva of compassion, that embodiment of kindness and compassion. And that's like a practice that they do in Japan. So they have a micro version of that at Daifukuji in Hawaii, where they have soil from each of those 33 temples. I believe the middle, the central Japan 33 um, temple pilgrimage. They have packets of soil, and within the temple of Daifukuji, there's a statue of Kannon, 33 of them, and you stand on the packet of soil from one of those temples in Japan, and you do some chanting and some bowing, and you make your way around the 33 during that practice time, during that festival, during that day. So the current abbot, priest, or teacher there is, her name is Jiko Nakade. She grew up in Kona, and she's the only female abbot at a monastery there, a temple in the island chain of Hawaii. But just you can really tell that she's just an extremely kind, grounded person, and we were able to meet her when we were out there. There's a Rinzai Zen monastery or temple called Chozenji, which is on Oahu, the Honolulu island. And this is a temple that was founded by Omori Sogen a few decades ago. And there's a real emphasis on the Japanese martial arts and the cultural arts. So there's like Zen practice that's blended with swordsmanship, calligraphy, tea ceremony, archery, those kinds of things. That's a main Rinzai Zen temple on Oahu. Of course, there's the Diamond Sangha of Eiken Roshi from a while back, which is also on Oahu as well. So it's interesting just to see how Zen shows up in different places and in different ways, and this connection with this island chain that's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And how, of course, Japanese folks started coming over 100 years ago, and how then these temples began to be established. And now they are these practice places, or still these touchstones for Japanese people and other people on the islands. Omori Sogen, he says, the eternity of any time shines in this moment now, while the unlimitedness of any place is manifested in the limits of here. So any time is found now. Any place is found here. He goes on to say, when the universality of any one dances out in the individual I, for the first time you have the world of Zen. So this sense, often we can see others as someone else, but he's pointing to, like yourself, to ourselves. When we come back to who we are, everyone is found within us. We are everybody, and everybody is us. So he's talking about this is the world of Zen. He says, by emptying ourselves, we become one with objects, deeply absorbed in our work. To be thus thoroughly one with everything with which we are confronted is the true essence of Mu. The true essence of Zen, you could say. It's a state of both physical and spiritual liberation, to which practice in movement should point. Again, he was very big on like archery, tea ceremony, like moving meditation, moving Zen practice. Shinzan Roshi used to talk about Dozen and Zazen. Zazen being like that more formalized sitting practice, Dozen being like movement practice or moving Zen, meditation and movement. This sense of, yeah, how to be deeply absorbed, how to be one with whatever it is that we're engaging with. When we're chopping the vegetables, how to really be that. When we're listening to a friend, how to be them, to be there, to be one with that. So interesting to think about how the Zen tradition has grown and moved and kind of found its roots in different ways in different lands. India, China, Korea, Japan, the mainland of the US, Hawaii. So interesting how this way of enlightenment has shown up in lots of different places in lots of different ways.